Eating their own. AOC gets slammed by the left for voting against cutting military funding to Israel. Wow, wow, wow. Now, y'all know how I feel about foreign aid and sending money overseas. Doesn't matter if it's Israel, doesn't matter who it is. I think we need to stop sending our money to other countries until we get our country straight first. You know, our homeless veterans and struggling families and stuff like that. We need to, charity starts at home is my belief. But AOC, who considers herself a progressive and was in her rhetoric always anti-Israel, all of a sudden voting for Israel. I told you she's a hypocrite. I tried to warn leftists that she's not really who she says she is. She's a limousine liberal. She's a liberal Zionist. And it goes to show that now. And it's funny watching her own supporters coming for her now. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to show some of the tweets. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, let's get into this news. Let's talk about how fake AOC really is. Haven't I been saying this over the years? She's fake. She's a fraud. But since coming, this is from Twitchy, and they report that since coming to office, New York Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has been the darling of the left. She's become so popular that she expected to either replace Chuck Schumer in the Senate or be part of the Democrats' 2028 ticket. Whether she's flying around in private jets with Bernie Sanders on the Eat the Rich, mind you, she's the one who want to make it where you can't fly. She's flying around. She's jet setting, or trying to use her political clout to influence Hakeem Jeffries to endorse the Democratic Socialist candidate to be New York City's next mayor. She seemingly do no wrong. Bolshevik's Barbie standing shoulder to shoulder with Kami Mondani symbolizes how far left the Democrats have gone, and she is the face of that movement. The socialist succubus just got a quick lesson in how fickle her base on the loony left can be when she voted against a proposed amendment by Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. MGT's amendment would have drastically slashed funding for military aid to Israel. Now, why are we sending so much aid to Israel? They have money. They got their own money. They're not a struggling country, and their technology rivals ours. So they acting like Israel's some like third world country that need our help. They really don't. The AOC or her advisors should have known that if there's anything the statist left hates more than a Republican, it's Israel. They can't stand Israel. And you see someone posted this on X, breaking Marjorie Taylor Greene's amendment to slash military funding to Israel was just defeated 422-6. Only 6 people in our Congress voted against sending more money to a country that really don't have our best interests at heart. But it would have jeopardized U.S. national security and gutted critical joint military R&D like the creation of the Iron Dome. That's according to them. Of course, I don't believe in that. But for her part, MTG's proposal was more political theater than anything else. That vote had less chance of crossing the finish line than Jerry Nadler running a marathon. MTG knew it, and AOC should have known it. Politically, AOC should have voted for the amendment, then spent the rest of the day with the squad twirling kafayas like Steeler fans with terrible towels, chanting Free Palestine. She could have spent her weekend on Instagram chugging cheap wine to the adoration of her base on the far left. The vote was an unforced error, and the backlash came quickly. I mean, who told her to vote against it? I mean, she act like she don't know her loony base. But Vince Dale, he said AOC base is now revolting against her after she voted to fund the Iron Dome. The left cannibalizes itself as usual. Who could have seen that coming? Of course, everyone except for AOC and her handlers. But you got someone said what it does is cut off defensive Iron Dome capacities while allowing the actual bombs killing Palestinians to continue. I have long stated that I do not believe that adding to the death count of innocent victims to the war is constructive to its end. That is a simple and clear difference of opinion that has long been established. Someone else said, Bernie Sanders and AOC are liberal Zionist scum. Reject liberal Zionism and embrace Palestinian liberation. Like, they are upset. They are upset. But she tried to rationalize her vote and do some damage control, explaining that she believed in protecting all innocent lives. Really? Really? Is that really what you believe, AOC? Really? She said Marjorie Taylor Greene's amendment does nothing to cut off offensive aid to Israel, nor in the flow of U.S. munitions being used in Gaza. Of course, I voted against it. She goes on to say what it does do is cut off defensive Iron Dome capabilities while allowing the actual bombs killing Palestinians to, where are we? To perpetrate the genocide in Gaza. Protecting innocent Jewish lives didn't go over too well with the from the river to the sea wing of the party. It seemed to make things worse. And here we go. Wyatt Reed said, protect kids in Gaza. And you know, you got the face, you don't care, the indifferent face there. And then protect the Iron Dome. She's happy, she's giddy. That's pretty funny. Then we got someone else, Rami posted, he said, a country perpetrating a genocide deserves $0 in any form. They deserve diplomatic and political isolation, proceeding trials to The Hague. This twisted logic won't work at this stage. Another one of her so-called supporters, and he got even socialist in his tag here. He's definitely a socialist. He said, Bernie Sanders and AOC are liberal Zionist scum. Reject liberal Zionists and embrace the Palestinian liberation. Already went over that one. But it's a hard lesson, but one AOC needs to understand. The harsh reality is that her base has no interest in protecting any Jewish lives. The left isn't against violence or genocide, so long as they're directed at the right group of people. And let me say, I don't want any lives lost. It doesn't matter if it's Palestinian or Israeli lives. I think Netanyahu has made Israel hated around the world because it's his policies, his wars that he's starting to try to stay in power. That's what all of this is about. It's about Netanyahu trying to maintain power because he knows he's not really popular right now. That's why we got all these stuff going on in the Middle East. But all of her supporters who protest for the end of the war today would be dancing in the same streets. They march and should Israel be wiped off the map tomorrow. And that's true. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. Someone named Aber said, bravo, AIPAC, so grateful for your free service. Cheap and spineless, impressive. And then you got someone called Dr. Wanda said, we get it. You're pivoting so you can run for president and you got to get on your knees for AIPAC, but just admit it. Someone else, Masab, said, you failed us, AOC. And the Democrats may have a big tent, but they require a purity test to stay in it. AOC is a little less pure today. She's still the commie queen of the party, but her crown is a little tarnished. She should have known better. Right? I don't know who advised her to vote against this bill. It's ridiculous to her own base. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave y'all comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.